I'm going to start by saying that our firm is full service and that I began in public relations. And we look at public relations as an art/science, which is influencing people. And of course, with us, it's positively creating a positive influence about a company, about a product, about a property, about why someone's good to invest with, or that that's all public relations. So we see everything else as like a tool within that advertising, whether it's print or digital, whether you're doing social media, whether you're doing email campaigns, if you're speaking at a conference, if you're appearing on a great podcast, that all of that is influential. And so all of it's kind of together, and that's the whole of public relations. So within that, there are things like news releases and thought leadership, which we look at as two separate items. The news releases would be, for example, you are announcing something that you would tell a friend after work. If you went to have a beer with someone that wasn't in your industry, you would say, hey, you know what's kind of cool that happened at work today? And you would tell them about if there was a famous location involved, if there were a famous person involved, if it had a huge dollar number, if it was something that was the first time something had ever happened, or even the last time that something is going to happen, which we did on a shopping center that opened. And, you know, shopping centers open from time to time. And we are in a suburb of Los Angeles. So I called the LA Times and I said, hey, I think this is the last shopping center that's going to ever open, ground up development that's going to ever open in our market. And you guys should cover this. And they're like, that's true, we should. So in addition to all the local, more regional media, we were able to get the LA Times to cover it because it was the last of something. And that's how they kind of used it, of last major regional mall opening today or something. If something is the biggest, that's of interest. We did the first megaplex west of the Rockies. So we called it the big one. We told the client, let's call it the big one. The media all called it the big one. Everybody was like, oh, let's go to the big one. Just being large is interesting. If something is quirky, that can also be very interesting, as long as it's positive. You want to make sure you're not doing something quirky, silly. But if one of your people in your company is a stunt pilot, it's sort of interesting and quirky, and you might be able to get feature stories on that. So anything that you can send out that you think that the media would go, that's really interesting, that could be a news release.